live. Welcome back to another edition of the Mining Market Signal. This is the first time doing this on a Saturday morning. And hey, guys, big shout out to Serpent X Special Forces, who is also live right now. Didn't mean to step on toes, but we weren't able to coordinate for this Saturday. So if you're watching this after the fact, if you're jumping in after Serpent's live stream, thank you for watching his, and thank you for being supportive of the entire community. Don't mean to step on toes. A lot of great creators out in the space right now, and you know, there's room for everybody. That's the bottom line there. Room for a lot of really great voices talking about cryptocurrencies. So we got some quick shout outs to do before I jump into the content for today. We got Mark Mean in the comments section. Hello, Mark. We got Golden Wolf. We got the Deadwood. We got several others who are just pouring in. I see the view count going up. Thank you so much for hitting that thumbs up button on your way in and for hitting the share button so we have more live viewers to gab with in the live comments, guys. That's half the fun, right? Is the interaction that we have in the comments section. This is one of those live streams where we try to foster community almost more so than anything else. That said, let me jump into our main event. First things first, you guys gave some great feedback. We made a decision. We're just calling it the MYB phone, right? The Mine Your Biz phone. We call it the No I de-Googled device. We can't really say no I, or like, you know, the way that Apple spells that sort of thing, because they just pounce on everything. I would actually expect to get some kind of a cease and desist. That's the way that Apple rolls. But this is the brand new page for it, and it's just available at mineyour.biz/phone. We simplified it. Just mineyour.biz/phone. That's where it lives now. So it's the Mine Your Biz phone, available at mineyour.biz/phone. At any rate, let's jump into the Fear and Greed Index. Right now we got a score of 78. And that is why we have today's title. Why is the market so greedy? Guys, it's not always as cut and dried as just saying, like, you know, it is the greed that lurks within the hearts of men and women and children. No, it's definitely something more than that, because we saw a trend line on this Fear and Greed Index that wasn't 78 for the last 3 months, right? We're just now starting to ramp up. This is the last month and at a glance, right? Overview. And I mentioned this the last time we went live, that we're about to enter a period where when we look back a month, all we're going to see is either a neutral value or a greedy value. We're not going to see any of the fear that we did before. Everyone around us will start to say things that confirm our greedy bias and tell us, like, oh my gosh, number go up. Bitcoin, number go up forever. Nothing's ever going to go wrong this market cycle. Right? Like, this is where, again, in my mind, is this advice? No, it's not advice. But in my mind, this is where I start to take caution, right? Warning bells sound in my head. I don't think like, well, okay, the number's pretty high right now, so the number's always going to go up forever. Guys, that can't happen. It doesn't happen in real estate, and it's never happened in Bitcoin's history to date. Now, am I calling for an end to the bull run? Not at all. Not at all. But I am just saying that we should be cautious. The Deadwood asks a relevant question from before, saying, hey, can we import that phone onto Straight Talk service? Yes, you can. It works really well with Straight Talk service. Any prepaid carrier, such as Boost Mobile, such as Mint Mobile, or anything else that is a prepaid service, works quite well. Also got a new comment coming in. Obi-Wan Dahomey, aka Beskar Batman, says, hello there. This is the way. Hey, I appreciate that. Also, I really love your name, right? And the avatar is pretty great. So thanks for stopping in. You gave me some giggles already. Guys, we're barely even getting started. Already having fun. So that's the trend, though. Let's zoom all the way out to 3 months, right? And 3 months shows us, right, this is a little bit more what our reality was for a while, right? We were down here in this sort of like despair area. It wasn't quite extreme fear yet, but we weren't really feeling very good about cryptocurrencies in general. And we can see that the record kind of shows that we weren't feeling very good about cryptocurrencies in general. So it's a little bit of a concern to see us pop way up fast. See how we came back down? There was a bit of a price correction, which represented that drop back down towards fear, not all the way into the fear area. And then we went all the way up into the greed area, and we've only recently gone to extreme greed. This trend, if it continues, for me, will absolutely sound warning bells. I'll be setting targets, telling myself exactly, okay, when will I take profits, or how will I take profits? Will I peg to some other stablecoin? Will I put some kind of profits in some kind of an interest-bearing or yield-bearing scheme in DeFi or something? How will I do this to make sure that I don't get wrecked when price corrects? It may only gently correct, right? Again, I'm not giving advice here, nor am I giving really in-depth technical analysis, just to say that we know that the number doesn't go up indefinitely forever. That just doesn't happen. That's not how it works, right? It's not how any of this works. Markets have never, ever functioned like that. So, guys, I know Bitcoin is built different, but it's not built that different. People still have to have confidence in it, and it's primarily an emotionally driven market, like anything that people spend money on. We only spend money based on emotion, fear, greed. That's kind of, if you boil it down to just the two major poles, those are the two polar opposites of the emotion that causes us to buy stuff. We're either greedy and we want more of something that we think we have, or we're fearful of losing something, and so we make choices that betray our fear. So anyway, that's why I like showing this first thing. Let's take a look a little bit farther back. We can go back to 1 year and kind of see how it almost perfectly matches the price action, guys. You see this? When we were flying high in the $50,000 to $60,000 range in Bitcoin, look at those levels, right? And over 90 on the Fear and Greed Index. And when we saw like some days where it was very, very scary, and we did have a flash crash. We did have a price drop really, really quickly, like short spikes downward, breaking downward on Bitcoin and Ethereum. And then when we came out of that channel and then dipped down into the $30,000 range, everybody became fearful. Guys, $30,000 Bitcoin, that's $10,000 more than it was for its all-time high in 2017. Why would you be fearful of that? Well, because people are irrational and emotionally driven. It's really that simple, guys. That part really is. Okay, so jumping out of the Fear and Greed Index, let's take a look at some of the reasons that maybe why people would be fearful or why they would be greedy. And I think part of it right now is we're getting some really interesting signals, mixed signals about the news out of El Salvador. I've just got these two articles. You can see them in the description down below this video if you want to take a look at those on your own or read along as we go through this. And guys, again, I just want to thank you so much for hitting that thumbs up, and thank you so much for sharing this video. This is not the typical time that we go live, so this is a bit of an experiment, and we're trying to dial in the Saturday morning time frame that we do this, but your support is very appreciated. Thank you for bringing people into this live stream so we can chat. We're not such a big channel that we have to take only super chats. Like, we can read every chat that comes through, and we will do some catch up as we get into our portfolios and we add some new assets to our new proof of stake side of the portfolio that we've been tracking for you for months already. So I'm really looking forward to bringing that new info to you and being able to interpret even more and weigh the opportunities against some of our favorites like Ethereum and Bitcoin, right? These are mainstays for us as miners. We tend to hold on to Ethereum, even if you're a Bitcoin maximalist. If you're also a GPU miner, you tend to hold on to Ethereum for fairly long periods of time. So it's nice to see what other options are out there and see how they've performed in the markets. And we will get to that in just a moment. But some of the news that has affected us right now is, well, the IMF. And so this economist, Steve Hanke, asked me how I know that name. I just had a guy I went to high school with that last name. It's actually Hanke. It's not Hank. It's weird, but it's Hanke. Trust me. But Steve Hanke. Hey, Andres says, like your opinion from Argentina. Hey, bienvenido. Thanks for being with us today. It's so great to have people tuning in from all over the world. But we've got this guy saying that he thinks that Nayib Bukele, the president of El Salvador, is playing with fire for ignoring the World Bank and the IMF's warnings on Bitcoin. Well, what do the World Bank and the IMF have to gain from Bitcoin being adopted? Literally zero. They gain nothing when Bitcoin is adopted. What do they have to lose if Bitcoin is adopted? Literally everything. All of their control. There's quite a bit of a problem with this advice. Are you seeing it? Because I think I'm seeing it too, right? A little conflict of interest. At any rate, this is what they go on to say, right? So he wrote an article called El Salvador's Road to Currency Chaos and Economic Collapse. Guys, this is classic FUD if I've ever seen it. Really, that bold a statement. And then a couple of IMF officials, and I want you to pay attention to these names, right? The IMF, the International Monetary Fund. Oh my gosh. Or sorry, International Monetary Fund. There you go. Thank you. It's written right there in the article. I just had a brief lapse. If you ever see an article written by people who work there, you need to pay attention, right? They're not a government organization, at least not here in the United States. They may not have any kind of direct government oversight in your country of origin or where you live in the world, but they do make broad, sweeping recommendations that affect everybody. So the IMF, it affects all of us. Hey, we got David Lee chiming in the comments saying good morning. Good to see you, David. But guys, the IMF, we got to pay attention. And I want you to pay attention to names as well. When you see these names popping up in other places, they're probably behaving or probably acting on behalf of the interests of the IMF, maybe not your interests. So we got Tobias Adrian and Rhoda Weeks Brown. I'm missing a comma there, but they think that it's going to create highly unstable commodity prices, and they think there's going to be a risk of cryptocurrency assets being used contrary to the anti-money laundering laws and the financing of terrorism. I'm sorry, terrorism coming out of El Salvador? Guys, we had gang violence coming out of El Salvador in the 80s and 90s. You didn't seem to care what money they were using. Why do you care so much about the money that El Salvador is using now? And suddenly, so quickly, trying to equate it to the T word. I saying that even the first couple of times could damage my channel. Gosh, the climate that we live in. I don't know why we race to that presumption when people are using cryptocurrencies or currencies that can't be directly controlled by the IMF. I don't get it, right? But also the FATF, not to be confused with the BATF, another one of my favorite organizations. BATF is the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, with a heavy emphasis on the firearms. The FATF is the Financial Action Task Force. Also, an international organization that isn't necessarily directly embedded in our government, but is fairly closely aligned, and that our government in the United States takes a lot of cues from, right? They do a lot of consulting with this group. And they said they share similar sentiments on the country's move, that El Salvador had previously had a clean record with the FATF. So again, what? They've never been a problem before. The FATF, an organization that has basically tasked itself with working against financing the big T, right? And financing or having any kind of money laundering schemes, right? They've already been put in charge of policing this. They never had a problem in El Salvador before. So why do they think it's going to suddenly be a problem now? At any rate, they said that that record may change, right? Their clean record may change. This could go on your permanent record, El Salvador. You start using Bitcoin, I don't know. Things are going to get pretty bad around here, pretty nasty. It's going to go downhill pretty quick. We're pretty sure of it. That's what the FATF is saying as well. So also, Steve Hanke says, President Bukele's authoritarian bent is another factor that has held the policy in place. Now, here's a point that I can't necessarily argue against. So in El Salvador, the fact that this has rolled out, the fact that there's even been any emphasis on Bitcoin being adopted as a legal tender is really has to do with, in my opinion, with Nayib Bukele's insanely high approval rating, which almost seems unrealistic. It was in the 90 percentile, right? 92nd percentile or something, which is unheard of for a politician, right? Let alone a head of state. So that already for me is kind of like, well, he's an interesting guy. He does seem to be actually well liked by a lot of El Salvadorians, but it almost seemed unrealistic to me. And so when somebody says that, I start to think, okay, well, maybe there's some merit to that. Possibly. But the rest of it, I don't get. And he's saying that it may not be just a legal tender, but a forced tender that he's imposing on the country. And there have been some demonstrations within El Salvador of people who either don't understand or just simply don't want Bitcoin. Maybe, in my opinion, because they don't understand it well enough. But there have been some demonstrations in El Salvador of people who just say, like, no, this isn't for us, or we didn't choose this. It's sort of been presented to us, but we didn't exactly choose this. We didn't get offered a vote on this. It's just being thrown into the mix. So there are some people who are digging in their heels, and it would be irresponsible to ignore that. That's a fact, right? That's not just my opinion. I would love for everybody in El Salvador to just welcome Bitcoin with open arms, and I'd love for us to see this experiment go forward and for us to figure out, what does a nation that size do with both the US dollar and Bitcoin? Because it would be a great experiment for states here in the United States, right? You're going to have a few states. I mean, there are several states that don't even have half the population of El Salvador. If they were to try out the same thing, we're going to get a really solid data set from seeing how El Salvador uses Bitcoin first, right? It's not going to be exactly the same, I know, but we'll at least have some data to figure out, like, what does this size population do when they have both BTC and USD? They're side by side and they're accepted everywhere. Do people prefer to use BTC at the point of sale? Do they prefer to use BTC in their banking? Do they prefer to use Bitcoin in their savings? Do they prefer to use Bitcoin as gifting, right, to family members and friends? Do they, how do they gift Bitcoin? Do they gift Bitcoin according to the travel rule? Do they keep it under $10,000? What do they do exactly with Bitcoin? And we're going to be able to get some of that information a little bit. It'll be different because the economy is a different size, right? It's a different scale and different size and a different shape. But at least we'll be able to start to see in El Salvador when that rolls out, like, how does that work? And I would love to see everybody there accept it, but not everybody has. So I think the one point that Steve Hanke has that's valid is to say that it's possible that it could be characterized as forcing a tender on the country. So let's see. And he says that they only seem to be accepting the policy because he says so, not because of its merits. That's where I disagree with his opinion wholesale. Nah, the people who are accepting Bitcoin, I think, are accepting Bitcoin because he's explained it very well. Nayib Bukele did a great job. He literally stood at a press conference with a PowerPoint presentation and explained to people the basics of using Bitcoin and the basic economic realities and the economic strength of holding Bitcoin as a savings vehicle. He was extremely responsible in how he rolled that out. Like, I can't imagine anybody doing that better. However, again, his approval rating seems suspect, and there's some other stuff within his presidency so far that seems a little bit, I don't want to comment too deeply on it, but it seems a little bit strange. From the outside, I don't fully understand it. However, his handling of Bitcoin, I don't think people are doing it just to appease him. He's not like some surrogate father figure to the country of El Salvador. Not at all. He's a really young guy, actually. So I don't totally get that. And even the charismatic, like, cult of personality accusations, right? Like, well, they're just doing it because he's a cult of personality. And it's like, nah, he's no Jim Jones. He's not that either. So I don't totally understand where everybody is so frustrated by it. At any rate, that's his last argument. I only agree with it partially, but it's mostly fear-mongering, right? It seems pretty obvious. Where on the flip side, you got the advisor to the president of Colombia saying Bitcoin is the most brilliant piece of software ever. Huh? Night and day, right? Night and day. How could these be any more different? Fear-mongering about what's happening in El Salvador, but then everybody else across Latin America saying, like, no, this is interesting. Just like how I said I want to see it, potentially be adopted in one of the states here in the United States, a smaller state. Everybody across Central and South America is saying, like, yeah, we want to see how this plays out. This could work for us, maybe. Like, who wouldn't think that? If you're paying attention and if you're getting educated on Bitcoin, who wouldn't think that, right? And that's exactly what's happening. But thankfully, it's happening in the highest chambers of government in countries like Colombia. And specifically, it is presidential advisor Jeudy Castro Sierra. And it's great. Says after some time, at first, it's funny. He literally said, "Oh, I'm in it for the tech. I'm interested by the tech. It's very interesting. Very, very interesting tech." And then went on to say, "Yeah, after some time, I also got interested in the monetary innovation it represents. And I'm still discovering amazing new things every day." Like, ever the student, right? Just totally humbly saying, like, yeah, the tech is pretty interesting. There could be some cool use cases. Yeah, it's got monetary value too. That's kind of cool. Like, after the fact, like, total like throwaway thought, like, yeah, I guess you could use it as money. But yeah, Bitcoin's pretty cool. So I think they're approaching it the right way as well. And definitely the president of Colombia is being advised, I think, in the right way. Also said that with the El Salvadorian adoption of Bitcoin as legal tender, he said it was a bold move. And he was asked about whether or not Colombia would follow. And I think realistically we're asking, will you advise the president of Colombia to follow their footsteps? He can't make policy. He can recommend it, but he can't make it. And apparently he wasn't forthcoming on an answer. Didn't really say anything. And he said there's some risks, right? Acknowledges some risks, but he said the industry would likely bring new investments to Colombia. And he's not wrong. Right now in El Salvador, with their current migration rules, right? Their current immigration rules, if you have 3 Bitcoin, if you can show 3 Bitcoin of personal funding and liquidity, you can move to El Salvador. You can emigrate to El Salvador, and they're happy to accept you, right? From anywhere in the world. Not exactly no questions asked, but if you can show that you're a Bitcoin like baller, they're just gonna with 3 full Bitcoin, they'll just say, hey, you're part of this economy. We want you to spend here. Obviously, we want to attract people of wealth and intelligence and of means, right? So this is not shocking, right? Most states do this in the United States too, to try to compete or be competitive and invite people into their economy. All right, so we've got some other questions coming in the live chat, guys. Definitely appreciate this. We've got, let's see. Hey, High Speed Miner says, what's good, bro? Good info. Thank you. Deadwood says, fear-mongering is the way of the media in state. It appears as though the linguistic programming is evident to Seth, and he sees the manipulation used to control the populace. You know, I try to pay attention to that. NLP is a dangerous thing. It's pervasive. It's everywhere, right? It's like you ask a fish, hey boys, how's the water? Man, they don't know what you're talking about. You ask the average American, the average citizen of any country, like, hey, so how's the neurolinguistic programming? And they're like, huh? What? Because we're just swimming in it, bro. It's everywhere. You can't get away from it. Right? The FUD and the FOMO, all of it. All these messages around us that are designed to manipulate us. That's why the Fear and Greed Index is so helpful, I think, personally, because everybody else is being manipulated emotionally. If we can keep a level head and try to read through it, maybe we can do better. Maybe. Hey, we got Sam in the chat as well. Throwing up the peace sign. Good to see you. And let's see, the Deadwood says, wasn't it 2017-18 we saw misinformation and fear used to push the market away from crypto as it fell to orange man bad syndrome on all media? Yeah, that was definitely part of the neurolinguistic programming for sure. And Mark is asking if my ETH price prediction is such and such in 5 years, then 3,000 ETH is cheap. Aave, also a good token, only has 16 million tokens, should be price prediction, he says, in a few years. Cool. All right, that's pretty much it, guys. Obviously, you can chat and you can ask questions. You can answer questions if you have an answer. Definitely do be a supportive community member as we continue through today's live stream. That's half the fun, is being able to see each other and chat with each other. Thank you again for hitting that thumbs up. Thank you again for sharing the live video and bringing in more live viewers. It's pretty awesome to be together. All right, so we're loading up txstreet.com. Looks like it might be hanging just a little bit. I'll just fully reload this page. Yep, there you go. Cloudflare, doing what Cloudflare does. All right, and it looks like our current price for sending Ethereum and the median ETH transfer fee is $2.42. Median contract fee is $15.06. That's good news. If you're not familiar with what these numbers mean, the median ETH transfer fee, that's the fee that it would cost you to simply transfer the utility token of Ethereum, Ether, ticker symbol ETH, if you're not familiar with that. And median contract fee, this is the fee that you would pay to initiate a contract on some kind of a DEX or an AMM. If you were initiating some kind of a more complex smart contract, or maybe minting an NFT, or doing something more complex with an NFT on Ethereum, just in case you're not familiar with that, that's what those numbers mean. And that's why there's a different number for each. And it costs less to transfer just Ether, ETH, than it does to send sometimes other tokens, right? They initiate a smart contract to be able to be sent. So, or they run through a smart contract. Ooh, all right, so that's going down just a little bit real time. Also, in case you're not familiar with this, I love TX Street because we get this visual representation. First, on the far left, all these buildings represent different services. There's Uniswap. There is OpenSea. That's an NFT marketplace. There's MakerDAO. There's MetaMask. There's 1inchDex. There's Rarible, another NFT marketplace. And then so many others. There's 0x, Chainlink, Curve. Is that Ghost DAO as well? So many others. CryptoKitties, Kyber, and many, many others that are off to the left. These are the most popular services. And those little people, they look like little South Park people running out of there. Those represent transactions. And they're kind of lining up to figure out which of these blocks they're going to go into. That's what these buses represent. This is the current block right now being organized. And you notice sometimes people jump out, or transactions jump out. And hey, we got a new comment coming in. I'll get to that in just a minute here. But got people jumping out and going into other transactions. That's because people who have, like in the real world, these people want to pay lower fare, right? They want to pay lower gas fees. And so that transaction is being reordered into a different bus or a different block that will hopefully offer them lower gas fees. But right now, the median gas price is 36 Gwei, or Gwei, as Box Mining likes to call it. I love the way he says that. And we go with this number because it tends to be more accurate than what's available at CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap, anywhere else. But yeah, that's our current average for Ethereum. On Bitcoin, you'll notice that we've got a little over 1,000 transactions that are in the mempool, but they're kind of trickling in real time. Apparently, they're not Yeah, they're not racing in. Current median fee is 4.54 sats per VByte, or Satoshis per VByte, and that translates to 41 cents in US dollars. So guys, if you're not familiar with that, we use TX Street on this show in this segment because it's so incredibly instructive. Shout out to Crypto Mikkel, who kind of like jogged my memory when I was watching one of his live streams. He's like, yeah, I love TX Street. It's so cool. It's a tool that's been around for some time. I don't remember exactly how long it's been, but they've had this running for quite some time with very little downtime. It's pretty nuts, actually, how long they've been having it run and had it so accurate. It's just a really great representation. We got Demounted Albion Online saying, found you via BitBoy's video when he came on. Glad I caught it. Love your vids. Keep up the good work, man. Hey, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. All right, so jumping out of the way. Also, the mempool for Ethereum kind of stays pretty much solid at over 75,000 transactions. They call it the low fee line. You see right there, people who are just unwilling to spend really high amounts. But clearly, you see some of these folks that are coming in through here. There you go. See those low fee riders way back at 19 Gwei, 19, 17, 15. If we have a 14, yep, they'll be there as well. If we have a 13. Yep, 13. If you had 11, 12, 11, and 10 Gwei. These are as many blocks as they have lined up right now, but that's the mempool, part of the mempool that's active right now. Those people, if you see them jump out and move ahead, they've likely, inside of MetaMask, they've adjusted mid-transaction the amount of gas they're willing to pay, so it's put them farther forward. This is why miners get paid so much. When people are in the middle of a transaction on the Ethereum network and they say, you know what, I really want this to move faster. I'm willing to pay more for it to move faster. When they pay more, that can now, in a post EIP 1559 world, if you've read about that, the London hard fork update for Ethereum, that fee goes into either a tip or it can simply go into MEV, maximum extractable value. And that improves the payout for both miners and for anybody who's running the coordination layer for miners. So pools, some DEXs as well. And it's kind of why the Ethereum ecosystem, why payouts really didn't change after EIP 1559, and why Ethereum has still been so much more profitable than almost all other coins after that change happened. We thought that it would make it deflationary, air quotes, and discourage miners. Hasn't discouraged most miners. But that's why. It's because you see them reordering these transactions, jumping forward, willing to pay more, and in some cases, just starting the transaction with the average gas fee and saying, whatever, that's just what I'm going to pay because I want my transaction to go through fast. Especially people who are trading, they want to execute their trades very, very fast. All right, taking a look at Fiat Leak. This is where all of the Bitcoin is going. These are our transactions right now. Current real-time transaction volume is pretty high. We've got 2 million, kind of consistently 2 million, or almost 3 million on Ethereum, and roughly 2 to 3 million on Bitcoin right now at any given moment in real-time transactions. So pretty dang fast. We almost can't refresh this fast enough. Let's start with taking a look at Bitcoin though. Oh, I clicked it just wrong. We're going to start with ETH today because it's loading up, and this site is a little bit more slow. The front end is a little less well coded. But the current price for Ethereum is $3,279. Yikes! Yowza! That's a spicy ETH. That's a spicy ETH ball. All right, so yeah, almost $3,300 for Ethereum right now, real-time price. Take a look at all. There you go. There we go. We're actually moving at about 100 or hundreds of dollars a minute, $600 a minute right now on Ethereum. And you see primarily it's US dollars that's going into Ethereum. This should really be going exactly reverse. We really should see the dollar signs flying into an Ethereum symbol, but whatever. You kind of get it, right? We see that in exchange, US dollars are getting Ethereum. So you see plenty of Korean won. Korea is on fire right now. That's surprising. And then what is this? What? Kazakh monies? The Kazakhstani tenge, or tenge. Wow, I haven't seen that before. Definitely not live on the show. Guys, that's a pretty big deal right there. Also, guys, I moved to a standing desk. If you're wondering why I'm kind of shifting around, so shout out to Son of a Tech. I'm not going to lie, he inspired me. I've seen him use the standing desk for a while now, a couple months, and I'm like, well, maybe I could do that. I tried it, and I'm glad I did. I do feel a lot better because of it. So that's crazy. Kazakhstan money going into Ethereum, but there are also some pretty big mining operations there, so they could be mining Ethereum. Thai bot, apparently Thailand is awake too. And yeah, Korean won is just going gangbusters right now. And what did we see? It's not the Singapore dollar, is it? No. What did we see? That was a Turkish lira going into Ethereum as well. Basically, the entire world looks pretty darn excited about Ethereum. Less British pound than we've seen in a while, but it's still coming out. Euro, obviously, as well. Plenty of people across the European Union who are interested in Ethereum right now. So this is not a shock to see that there's so many different sides of the world, but we haven't seen Kazakh money, or nearly as much Kazakh and Thai money going into Ethereum and Turkish money going into Ethereum at the same time during one of our live streams as ever before. This is, again, the first Saturday morning live stream that we've done of this segment for a while. So it could just be that we're at just the right time of day where we're going to see these markets more. So nice. That's exciting. But let's go over to our Bitcoin representation on Fiat Leak. And Bitcoin, $49,000. Ooh, I heard somebody, was it, gosh, who was it on crypto Twitter the other day saying, hey, I'm tired of seeing Bitcoin play just the tip with $50,000. Their words, not mine. So I'm okay with Bitcoin being whatever price it is, guys. Again, $30,000, people getting into extreme fear over $30,000 Bitcoin. Come on, that's 10 grand greater than its previous all-time high. How can you be discouraged by that? What's wrong with people? I don't get it. But clearly a lot of US dollars pouring into Bitcoin, some euro. Hey, Canadian dollars, there you are. Yeah, we thought you were all asleep. You know, there you go. They're finally in. So Korean won, also plenty of Korean won coming in. And that's got to be our Japanese yen, euro as well. Ooh, Indian rupee. Ooh, whoa! Somebody in India is pretty excited. Look at that. Look at that flying in there. What? It's not even supposed to be legal in India, sort of. Okay, whatever. I'm not complaining. I think it's great. Please, everybody in India, like, without giving financial advice, everybody in India go buy Bitcoin. All right, there we go. I said it. All right. Casual Mining says, appreciate you and Son of a Tech for taking a stand for mining. Just my 2 cents. Hey, I appreciate you saying that, man. I really do. I really appreciate you saying that. Son of a Tech is a really great guy, really great content creator, and he's a really great voice. For a couple of years, he was really a larger pool operator than miner, and he's even admitted that recently. And for me, I've never been like a large scale miner for myself. So it really, the small to mid scale mining, it's affected both of us in a very similar way, where it's like, hey, look, this kind of matters to people who are at home. And if you characterize all miners as being just one way, you're getting it wrong. So thank you for that. That means a lot. Ravenboy Crypto is here, says good morning. Good morning, Ravenboy Crypto. Appreciate it. Appreciate you being here, guys. Thanks for, again, hitting that thumbs up, sharing the video while we're live. Guys, this is the live leak, live fiat leak. Plenty of Russian ruble going in as well. And what South American money did we just miss? We missed something. Just go to the very... Oh, what am I talking about? African money. Yeah, I promise I know geography, guys. Good grief. I'm like, oh, look at this long stretch. What is this continent over here? Definitely in South America. I'm a little tired. Hey, this is the first time we've gone in the morning. So, yeah, so clearly we had some African money coming in as well, but I don't know exactly which one we're seeing. Kenyan shilling, I think, is what we were seeing. Right on. People of Kenya, get into it. Do it. Producing tremendous Olympic distance runners and some Bitcoin in exchange for your Kenyan shilling. That's awesome. Guys, you love to see it. I could stare at this all day. I don't mean to bore you to death. Let's take a look at our GPU mining profitability numbers. We'll start with the R9 380 ancient card, 14 cent power, 5 BTC of daily trading volume, and we'll use our averages of 7 days each. Why do we do that? Well, we went to 3 days for a short time, and I'm thinking I want to go back to 7 because we mine the averages, really. It's more of a dollar cost average strategy. Mining is, like, if you just boil it down to its essence, you're getting a discount on your dollar cost averaging. Even if you're getting daily payouts, you're really just getting a discount on your dollar cost averaging. The discount that you get is all of your profit on top of your cost for power. So if you want to just buy power and not ever sell any of the crypto that you've gotten, that's usually, for a lot of people, they like doing that. Might not be the right choice for you. You might have to sell some of your crypto in exchange for paying down your power. But as a small to mid-scale miner, again, the economics don't always apply to us. Sometimes we don't sell off our crypto to be able to pay our power, right? It's like, oh, I got a day job. I'll just pay my bills, right? Like, or whatever. I work in this field, or you could be retired, right? And to be like, all right, well, whatever. I've got my pension, or I've got this other source of income. I don't need to worry about the cost for mining at a certain scale. I'll just pay those bills down and I'll keep all the crypto. So that's always possible. But we always talk about this as though it's a dollar cost average strategy and as though you need to sell off some of the coins in order to pay bills, with a cost for power of 14 cents per kilowatt hour, because it's the average for the United States. So that's why we use these numbers. Did we already calculate? Let's do it again. Oh, what's this? A Serpent X Special Forces raid. What? Oh my gosh, Anonymous Miner. Thank you, Serpent X Special Forces. Bro, you are the best. Thank you so much for that. Guys, if you're not subbed, all of my subscribers, if you're not subbed to Serpent X Special Forces, bro, what the hell? Have you not been paying attention? I used to take his monthly summary. Before we both started, our channels both started to kind of blow up a little bit this market cycle. I used to take his monthly summaries and put them on the blog. He does great work. If you're not subbed to him as well, go do it. Thanks for the raid, Serpent. Bro, love your face. Thank you. So, and guys, appreciate you being here. But we're taking a look at our current mining profitability numbers. You guys came in just in time. We're at the R9 380. Ancient card, but it's still kicking butt on Ergo. How are you making 80 cents per day on Ergo with 14 cent power, right? Like, not cheap power. You're still doing over 80 cents per day on Ergo. You're still doing 60 cents per day on Ethereum Classic, and even 30 cents per day on Raven coin, which is not the best coin for this card, right? Like, it's really not, but you're still in the profit, right? You're not in the red on Raven coin even. Several other options as well, but clearly Ergo just takes the cake. If you want to keep all of it for yourself, $1.21 per day on a card that, I mean, you're going to find some of these in landfills. I swear to goodness, you're going to find some of these in landfills. They're not even available for sale anymore. They're just not that common a card, but they're still mining. R9 Fury, high bandwidth memory card, or HBM card, one of the first, but an ancient architecture. It's very similar to the R9 380 as far as the core architecture for the silicon. And we're going to calculate for that one as well, a little bit higher in some of the ETH. And hey, we got Polytechal. Oh, sorry, man. I'm gonna kill it. I'm gonna totally slay your name here. But we got Poly saying mine ETH, convert to Raven for the win. Totally, right? Like, guys, here's the thing. Some of these networks, and this is very, very disturbing. You may want to sit down for this, but your mom and I talked about it, and we think it's important for you to know now. Some of these networks don't actually need your hash rate. They're big enough. Just saying. As an at-home miner, some of these networks, they don't need your rigs. They don't need your GPUs. You can mine other coins and convert them if it makes more sense for you. This public service announcement is brought to you by Mom and Dad. All right, so jump back into the R9 Fury numbers. Let's go back and see what's top of the list. It's Raven all day, $1.48. What? Oh my gosh, it hurts so good. It's a John Mellencamp kind of thing, right? Like, it's not even funny. It's just such a good thing, but it stings because people have gotten rid of some of these cards, and here it is, like, hey, yo, I'm back to earn you money. It's like that girl that you dated in high school, and you're like, yeah, it might not work out, and then she was a total late bloomer, right? And you were like, oh my gosh, she's like gorgeous and intelligent and accomplished, and she's like the full package, and I was an idiot because I was like, whatever, 16 years old. Anyway, that's your R9 Fury right now, coming back to make you regret all your life choices regarding this card. Ravencoin, $1.48. Ergo, $1.30, not bad, but Ravencoin, I mean, dang, right? You can absolutely go the other way around from what Polly said as well. You can mine Raven and convert to ETH if you're a strong believer in ETH. Ripto Mikkel, we got all the team from Serpent X Special Forces jumping in. Guys, thank you. Pocket Change is in the house. Thank you guys for being here, all the crew. And guys, and I'm going to apologize publicly. I went ready, fire, aim this morning because I need to figure out how to dovetail a Saturday morning live stream into all the rest of the crew's lineup. So we'll touch base about that, and I'll make sure this doesn't happen again. Not cool. I didn't want it to play out this way, but here we are. So thanks for being here. That's our R9 Fury. Let's take a look at our 4 gig cards, right? They represent that by the 570. Golden Wolf says, LOL, the R9 Fury. She's a late bloomer. Yes, she is. So we'll make the 570, make that 30.5 mega hash on ETH 4G. Guys, these are not the best numbers you can get, but they are pretty common numbers to get over 30 mega hashes per second on the Polaris cards. And it's important that we make that change before we hit calculate because it puts Ethereum Classic a little bit higher in the rankings than what it would be otherwise. Dig Deep Miners in the house. Jaybird is saying, what's up, boys? Good to see you guys. Thanks for being here. And Jim Van is here. Hey, thank you. Appreciate that. Alexander Brody is here also saying gold sold a good amount when ETH hit 3K. Alexander, thank you again for that recommendation on the Mind Your Biz phone. We went ahead and just did it because it just made more sense. Like, why even bother with any of a name? It's at its core, it's really just a reflashing service, and we sell some accessories. It's not like our own bespoke device that we go get manufactured at some factory somewhere. So that made more sense. Thank you for that. Hey, Polly is saying, rip Savage Mine. Go ahead and throw those horns in the live chat. If you want to throw those up for Savage Mine, throw that hashtag Savage Mine in it, right? So let's make sure we celebrate his life and celebrate his content that still assists his family. So go ahead and keep that trending. The horns and Savage Mine. All right. Pocket Change. Why are you not narrating animated movies? You legit have the voice for it. Well, I have some news. For you guys, but it's going to have to wait. It may or may not involve NFTs. So, Ergo, top of the list, $1.66. Ravencoin, $1.36. Ethereum Classic, neck and neck with Ravencoin. When you correct and get that proper hash rate there. Guys, thank you for bringing in those Savage Mine hashtags and those horns. Keep them coming, guys. There's never a bad time to throw those up during the live stream. Just keep them coming, for real. So going from our 4 gig Polaris card over to our 8 gig Polaris card, they represented here by the 580. It's just an easier way to get that quick number there. Quick difference. Ethereum, top of the list, $1.97 all day. Not a difficult choice to make, but Ergo is at $1.74 and Ravencoin is at $1.33. So, what? Anonymous Miner says, saw license plate on the freeway yesterday. Be savage. Stay savage, everyone. Nice. Thank you. And then, yeah, Ravencoin, $1.33. Not really a bad coin to mine there. And then Ethereum Classic also $1.34. Looks like it may be going up real time as we're doing this, but Ethereum obviously is the way to go there, guys. We've talked about it before. You don't have to hold on to it, and that's why we have the portfolio set up the way that we do, so you look at what your options are in the Ethereum ecosystem, and you can start pegging out to other assets. You can start jumping into certain, or aping into certain DeFi instruments. You can get yourself paid in other ways, right? Those are your choices to make. We're just here to try to wrap and figure out what maybe some of the possibilities are. So we'll take a look at that in a minute. But moving on to Vega 56, the entry-level Vega architecture card with HBM2 memory. And we've got Ergo at the top of the list at $5. $5.01. Bruh. $5. $5. $5 whole dollars. Fiverr. They made an entire work marketplace based on that number. Fiverr. That's a lot of money still, bro. I mean, seriously, if you sat down, like if you went to the store and you're like, you know what, let me get that Rockstar Energy. And they were like, oh yeah, no problem, $5. You'd be like, no, that's too much, right? Like, but right now I'm like, hey, let me borrow your Vega 56 and I'm just going to mine with it for a day. It's like, oh, what do you give me? Oh, $5. Bro, $5? That's a lot for one card. I'm just saying, for a card that old, that's a lot. And that's after the cost of power. So, bro, Ethereum, $3.33 It's just not even close. Like, I mean, and I'm not even that big a fan of Ergo, guys. If you've been watching the show for a while, you know I'm not like this guy who's like, oh yeah, for sure, Ergo and Cardano. Those really aren't my jam, right? Like, and I'm not going to say bad things about them, and I'm not going to FUD, but they're really not my favorite. And even that being the case, I'd be like, well, yeah, obviously, Ergo all day. On Vega 56, why in the world would you mine anything else? It just doesn't make any sense. Ravencoin at 245. Again, not even something to consider at this point on this one, I think. Anyway, but that's the entry-level Vega card. The top of the line for the Vega architecture and HBM2 memory is the Radeon 7. Who here is missing like some third generation Vega card? Who here is kind of feeling like the 6000 series stuff, especially the 6600 XT, is kind of like, they're holding out on us. They know better. They've done better. They've created cards that perform better. I mean, we're seeing it right here. You guys ever think that? Tell me in the comment section. What do you think about that? What about a third generation Vega card? Is it time? Do you want one? I know I do. Let me know. Radeon 7, though, let's take a look to see what the numbers are. And, Anonymous Miner, it does the walk of shame in our comment section, says, serious facepalm. I sold my Vega 64 power color rig. Bro! Oh! Let's see what I got a better soundboard for that. Here's a good one. Yeah, you literally punch yourself in the face. Sorry about that. So, yeah, Serpent is chiming in as well. Yep, they held back. It's annoying. Rather go Vega or RX 5000 series. Why do they do this, man? It's like versions of Windows, too. It's like skip a version with AMD. How sad. Like, that's the absolute state of thing. With CPUs, no, right? It's like, bro, you can totally upgrade. You're fine. But with GPUs, like, ugh, why? Anyway, Ergo at $7.71. That's the power of the Radeon 7. Ethereum at $6.67. Guys, I'm like, it's not an act. I'm legitimately giddy looking at these numbers. It's wrong. Like, how is this possible? We're in some kind of interdimensional warp, and we're in a different dimension right now. Looking at these numbers, doesn't it take you back? Like, don't take this stuff for granted. Count your blessings. This is the world we live in right now. Like, it's not another dimension. It's not unreal. These are the actual numbers right now, and it's almost unbelievable. Right? Like, it's crazy. That's one card. That's not a rig. That's not an old rig from that time. It's one card in a rig from that time. Just crazy. And an Ethereum Classic, $4.73. I mean, the Radeon 7 makes Ethereum Classic even look good right now in the current marketplace, current landscape. And then Raven Coin at over $3, $3.58. Crazy talk. Crazy times. We're going to do our composite between the 5600 XT and the 6800 XT, guys. If you're new to this segment, the 6800 XT will represent about 60% of the hash rate and profit from our numbers. So that's why we do that, just to quickly get through the rest of all the cards that we have here. We don't want to spend all day on this. But top of the line is, well, Ethereum at $7.39. Again, about 60% of that's going to go to the 6000 series part. Raven Coin at $6.28. Not bad. If you're Raven Coin like Maxi or whatever, you might actually consider it. Instead of having to do some conversions and try to peg that extra 50 cents or so, 50 to 80 cents of profit at exchange or whatever, you might just want to stick on Raven Coin. That may be a valid option for you. Then Ergo at $6. Guys, not a bad coin to mine on these cards either, apparently. Let's see. Anonymous Miner's asking, how is the market cap still so low on Ergo? That many people hodling or not many people mining? Hey, great question. Yeah, really great question. Ergo only shows up on our list because it's over 5 Bitcoin of daily trading volume. So regardless of the market cap, guys, I'm going to say something that is a little bit controversial. I agree with Richard Hart on that point, that market cap is a bit misleading. You need to look at liquidity. You need to look at what is actually moving every single day. And provided it's not wash trading, provided you can verify that it's real numbers going through the system, that's kind of what matters. That's why we put that here. And yeah, that daily volume of over 5 Bitcoin means that we, as small to mid-scale miners, at least all the people who are watching this live stream, everybody who was watching Serpent's live stream before, there's enough for us to go around for us. We're not going to tank the price and affect the market cap by selling at that volume. So daily volume is one of the biggest ones. Daily volume and price per coin. So is that the only thing I agree with Richard Hart on? Actually, no, but that's controversy for another time. So, and no, before you ask, if it rhymes with checks, if it rhymes with flex, if it rhymes with sex, no, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about something else that I agree with with Richard Hart. So, but I do agree with that, the economic model of looking at volume and coin price, not market cap per se. But let's see. Yeah, that's guys, that's our composite number there. Let's take a look at our Team Green cards. First, the value and efficiency cards: 1060, 1660, 2060, and 3060 Ti. Well, if you're new to the segment, we're using the 3060 Ti because it represents about half of the composite score. In the same way that when we do the top of the line, the 3090 represents about half of the composite score. You figure this current generation of cards, the RTX 3000 series, if it isn't that much of a leap ahead in performance, then why get it? And I think the 3060 Ti delivers what for me personally, I was expecting from the 3060. Kind of a bummer to have that be the way it played out, but I think that's the way it is, so that's why we run the numbers this way. But we've got all those highlighted. Let's calculate, figure out what our profits are, and Ergo is at the top of the list here as well, $9.25, but it's so close between that and Ethereum for me personally. Hey guys, Serpent X Special Forces got to run. Let's all give him a hearty farewell and throw some horns and a hashtag Stay Savage at him on his way out as well, guys. Let's keep that running. But You got Ethereum at 916. Not a bad option to just stick on Ethereum here. I think, again, guys, it's nothing against Ergo, just to say that if you want to stay in DeFi, though, you're going to be in DeFi by having that Ethereum. You're not going to be in DeFi by having that Ergo. So just a consideration there. Ravencoin at $7.80, Firo at $7.45, which is great to see. Guys, Firo it's been holding its own for weeks now, right? It's been on the leaderboard, top 4, top 5 for weeks. So Ruben, hey, and the team over, Ruben, Poraman, everybody over the team over at Firo, guys, great job. Keep it up. Don't stop. Don't stop, right? Never stop, never stop. And you guys are doing awesome. Whatever you're doing at Firo, keep it up. That's our Team Green value and efficiency cards. Let's take a look at our top of the line 1080 Ti, 1660S, 2080 Ti, and 3090. Again, 50% of the hash rate and profit is going to that 3090. Ethereum, top of the list, $16.22. Thankfully, on the upswing, guys. We were kind of moving downward before, but it's back up. Ergo is in second place at $15.27. Not bad, but again, for me, it kind of validates that idea that like maybe if you want to have a more like headache-free experience, optimize for Ethereum on these cards. Keep it on Ethereum. Not advice or whatever, but like that's what I'm doing, and I'm not disappointed. Put it that way. So, nice. Appreciate all that. So I got all the SEO stuffing on Anonymous Miner's comment there. That's great. So Ergo second place, 1527. Ravencoin at 1334. Not as attractive, but Firo still in fourth place. Not as attractive, but at $12.57. Woo! All right, let's jump back through some of our comments, guys, and see your remarks before we jump into our cost to mine one full Bitcoin. And jumping back through our comments, our live comments here, got Ace at Cisco. Oh, hey, I apologize. I didn't see you before. Thanks for being here with us. If you're still here, says 6600 XT is a no-go for me. So surprised that Ergo is so high right now. Wow. I assume the Ergo algo is low power consumption and it's making up a lot versus Raven. Hey, that may be true. That may absolutely be the case. Maybe part of it. Let's see. Yeah, jump back through. Facepalm. Hey, Pocket Change is getting a memorial sticker for the truck. That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you, Pocket Change. That's amazing. That level of support, guys, and love in this community. That's great. So jumping back through the live comments, guys, that's about it right now. If you have questions, obviously, throw them in. If you have comments, throw them in. If you want to do the horns, throw them up. Like whatever you want to do here, guys. Make this your home away from home. Make yourself comfortable. Kick off shoes, relax feet. Here we are on the Brains calculator. We're going to use just the Antminer S9 as our baseline configuration. Wayne is saying thanks for the stream today. Hey, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. This is fun times all around. So 13.5 terahash at just under 1200 watts. So not the most efficient thing. They put kind of an unrealistic number there. The break-even number for power would have to be at least, whoa, that changed live, 18 cents per kilowatt hour. That's volatile. Yikes. I don't know what's going on there. We may have had a spike in Bitcoin's price just now, and we didn't see it. I can't wait to see our chart. That's going to be cool. But right now, you're mining one full Bitcoin at about $36,000, almost $37,000 at 14 cent per kilowatt hour power. Not a great value proposition, guys. We've seen Bitcoin below this price in the recent weeks, and it's still possible that could be final support for Bitcoin. We don't know. On the other end of this bull run, we don't know exactly where final support could be. It could be at 30K. It could be at 20K. It could be a little bit lower than that, because bottom support for Bitcoin in the previous bear market was lower than that significantly. So we don't know exactly. And that's why I'm a little bit cautious. I don't like acquiring mined coins at a price far lower or acquiring them at a price far higher than they will be when we get over to where they are crawling sideways in a bear market. But anyway, Benjamin Wilson's in the house, says, woo, love your face. High Speed Miner asks, what do you think about Ethereum Classic? Hey, that's a great question. We can talk about that. We can talk about that a little bit. Though I might want to defer that for another live stream. Ethereum Classic is great. It's an EVM compatible chain, so we might see a bit of DeFi move over to it, but I don't know what it will take to get developers over to Ethereum Classic. They seem more interested in Solana and Polkadot. Just real talk. That's what I hear from developers. A lot of them are very interested in those. I have yet to talk to a developer who's like, yeah, Ethereum Classic, that's definitely the way to go for me. I don't know why. I really don't. For us as miners, we see the security benefit of being on Ethereum Classic. especially with Ethereum moving to proof of stake. Hey, we got Gandhi in the house as well, says, woohoo! What's up, Crypto Nation? But yeah, with Ethereum Classic, that's kind of my thoughts on it. Is I'm staying neutral. The team there is really great. Bob Summerwell seems like a really, really serious-minded guy. A lot of the contributors to Ethereum Classic seem like very serious people who are doing good work. But I'm not seeing developer adoption in the same way as other EVM-compatible chains and as Polkadot or Solana. They're kind of the new hotness, right? They're the shiny object that all the miners or all the developers want to go after. So. Yeah, anonymous miner. That's funny. That's really funny. Does it look like a character? He's not wrong. All right, so 14 cent per kilowatt hour power, not a great value proposition. Let's look at 8 cent per kilowatt hour power. And guys, I maintain that you can find this. If you look for it in your state, might have to cross the train tracks, but you can find this. $21,300 or almost $400. That's a little closer to my comfort level, right? Being able to acquire Bitcoin, if you're mining Bitcoin on an ASIC, being able to acquire Bitcoin at that price. I realize that it's currently at $50,000 almost. I realize that this sounds almost a little bit like stuck up or whatever, right? Pinky in the air. I only buy Bitcoin. I only mine Bitcoin. It's close to $20,000. Don't take it the wrong way, but really, we do need to be ruthlessly efficient in being able to acquire our coins. Otherwise, we don't weather the storm on the other side when prices settle again in a bear market, because they always go back, right? Up, down, but in a generally upward pattern, like a sawtooth, right? Sawtooth pattern. So, I don't like the idea of getting Bitcoin too much higher than that. You can go lower, but we're not going to bother with that today. Let's go with MicroBT What's Miner. Go with the M20S, which is our alternate piece of hardware. And at that same price for power, you're getting one full Bitcoin for just under $13,000, $12,700. That, for me, it just makes so much sense. Trying to find roughly 8 cent power on a far more efficient ASIC. If you're going to be mining Bitcoin at all, you're going to be far happier a few years from now getting your Bitcoin at a cost basis of around $12,700 than you will at even $20,000 or $36,000 or currently buying it at its current rate, because you also have to factor in the cost for your equipment, cost for electricity, which is, that's factored in here, but your cost for your equipment and the overall wear and tear, and of course your time. Guys, as miners, we never factor that in. Like, if you got asked to go into work today on a Saturday, and they were like, hey, we just have a couple of things we need you to do. It's like 5 hours or so. It's not too much work. It's only 5 hours. You can do that, right? And you ask them, sure, you're going to pay me overtime, right? And they say, well, nah, about that. We just really need it done. We do that to ourselves with mining. We're always doing unpaid overtime, doing upgrades and equipment maintenance. You got to factor it in. So that's factored in how? Here, the bottom line. You have to factor it in here. You have to pay yourself. And the only way you can pay yourself is by being ruthlessly efficient and ruthlessly aggressive on getting a lower bottom line. Otherwise, the dozens of hours, because it's never just 5 hours. Bro, let's be so realistic about what it takes, right? It's what it takes to actually continue to mine. Even with a rig that you think is fully configured and running great, sometimes you'll have, if you don't have good power conditioning, right? You don't have a power conditioner or the right PDU, right? You got to change a PDU. You can have a PDU burn out. You can have some kind of instability in the local grid that is no fault of your own. You can have an act of God break the roof on the building where your mining rigs are housed, right? And then water comes in. I had a friend who ran a mid-size, like large-scale mining operation. They had a transformer blow right outside the building. I mean, they had the giant high-voltage wire like flopping in the wind, like arcing out and touching stuff. Stuff just happens. You can have everything running perfectly, and then you have to put in time, right? So that's all I'm saying. You have to factor in your time, and you have to figure out what that time is worth, and you have to make sure that value is recaptured here in the bottom line. That's the only way we get paid, is through crypto. So just food for thought there, guys. Food for thought. All right, going over to mining pool stats.stream. I think we're going to leave this alone today. We're not going to look at any particular numbers there. Briefly take a look at Bitcoin. Looks like the global hash rate for Bitcoin has gone up. Maybe that's a weekend thing. Really? Okay, it's up almost 20 exahash, which is interesting because it's been holding steady at about 111. So that's kind of interesting to see. Ethereum also appears to have gone up. It's got to be a weekend thing. There's got to be like literal weekend warriors, hobbyists or something, or people like putting their work machines to mine SHA-256, which is crazy. But I guess if you got your employer doing it, you're still not going to make any money, you know? Like it's going to be pennies, fractions of a penny. Whatever. That seems strange to me, but apparently the weekend hash rate has gone up. Golden Wolf says, I pay myself in RTX GPUs. Yeah, boy. Nice. So let's take a look at our portfolio. We've got that new side of the portfolio, proof of stake smart contracts that is brand new. Starting with GPU mineable coins, though, we got Raven Coin at the top of the list. 1800. 1854 to be precise. Ergo not far behind. 1549. I mean, it is a little far behind, but both like doing phenomenally well, up above 50% to the upside. Our 24-hour change is less than 1%, but our total P&L, guys, we are finally in the black. We're finally up almost 2% in the total portfolio change since we started it on May 26th of this year. Just as a reminder, that's the date and that's the price point that we got all these coins. Benjamin Wilson, when add $5 of hex. Hee. That's funny. Yeah. Well, on this particular one, you can't really mine hex with a GPU. Richard Hart seems to be very anti-mining, which is funny because his podium story is that he says that that's how he got into cryptocurrency was by mining Bitcoin, and he claims that he mined full 50 Bitcoin blocks solo. So it's strange that he would, mining for me, not for thee. Don't get it. Anyway, yeah, don't understand. But anyway, here we are with Ergo, second place, Ethereum, third place, Matic, Aave, interest bearing, wrapped ETH, fourth place. Ren BTC, or our Bitcoin representations wrapped, are in the black, they're above. Let's see where the dividing line is. Looks like things start to go into the negative with Beam. And let's see. So Beam, Conceal, Firo, everything below that line is still in the red. It hasn't quite recovered yet since we put in that $1,000. So, yeah, since we put in that $1,000 on May 26th, these coins haven't recovered yet. Mimblewimble coin, and then all the way down to Haven, which is still pretty low. It's still below $5, which again, for me, I believe is actually undervalued. Not advice, but I do believe it's actually undervalued. And we'll see what happens as they continue. They're talking about now, the Haven team talking about Haven 2.0. Don't really know much about that. Not super embedded with the Haven team right now, or the Haven community right now, so I don't know a whole lot. But I should probably get myself a little bit more educated right now. Ace at Cisco is asking, what do you think about Haven updates? Also, do you mine Haven with Xeons or other high power CPUs? No, I don't. I'm not mining Haven at all right now, actually. So that's kind of my confession. I've got it here because I think that they've got something that's really pretty brilliant, but I'm really not very invested in it. I don't think that it's fair to say that like they're at the very bottom of the heap because of some kind of lack of merit. I don't think that's correct. I think that they had a really nasty hack and that's shaken investor confidence, but I don't think that has changed the fundamentals of this project. And it's hilarious because the other projects that have tanked here, they're like micro caps. Swap is under $500,000 of total market cap right now. Its daily volume can hardly be anything. And they're still going, right? They're not chain dead or whatever. So there you go. Yeah. So Benjamin Shavenhaven. Yeah, it's funny. So that's our GPU mining portfolio, guys. Hard drive mining, coins, we've got at the very top of the list. This historically has been a very good side of the portfolio for us. Let's see how it's done today. 24-hour change is down. Total P&L is down almost 2.5%. Interesting. It's previously been kind of a darling side of a portfolio. MaidSafe coin is still in the black, though, up by over 50%. Storage is in the black, up by over 25%. And Filecoin is in the black. It's Siacoin, Signum, and Chia that are all in the red. Chia staying suppressed pretty heavily. Yeah, that formation there, that all looks pretty similar there between Chia, Siacoin, and Filecoin, and storage, actually. Let's jump back and take a look at our wrap representation of Bitcoin to see if there's a similar pattern there. And it looks like there is. It looks like, yeah, generally speaking, when you see a bunch of other coins that are following the same trends, they're kind of correlated to Bitcoin. they're not really breaking out, to the upside or the downside based on something happening in their own community or in their own news cycle generally. So yeah, interesting. Chia just seems to be kind of like following the same trends. It's just like still very, very low. It's almost 70% down. So yeah, kind of a bummer there. But again, they're not done, right? They're not dead. Their market cap is strong. They've got some trading now. So I don't expect to see them go away. They're just the lowest from the time that we made our snapshot. But going to our CPU mineable coins, we got Monero, top of the list, barely in the black. Raptorium, still, again, barely in the black. But WoW hey, making its way up, totally decorrelated from everything else. Look at that upward channel. That's very strong performance from WoW right there. I mean, it's doing something very, very different from everything else. So is Raptorium, for that matter. But Monero seems pretty strongly correlated to Bitcoin. WoW is just like on fire, though. That's crazy. And then Varus coin still very low with a recent recovery. And I'm not sure what that's owing to, but it was crawling totally sideways for almost 4 days out of this week and then popping straight up. Don't know what that's about. If you guys do, sound off in the comments because I'm not embedded in the Varus coin community either. ASIC mineable coins, Bitcoin, the King Daddy, back in the #1 spot. And there is, see that? That's the master trend right there. I mean, not to make it weird. Oh gosh darn it. Am I going to get canceled because I said the M word? Okay, anyway, this is the trend that everything else follows, okay? This is the trend setter, the trailblazer. And Bitcoin, yeah, clearly in the #1 spot. Decred is not too far behind though, really. And it looks a little bit decorrelated, but not that much, right? So it is kind of following it for sure. Dash not following the trend of Bitcoin in quite the same way. A little bit. You see little peaks, little valleys, but not totally the same way. It's definitely in an upward channel, upward trajectory, and it's in the black. Pirate Chain back in the black. Zcash in the black for the first time since we made this portfolio in May. Good to see. Guys, I want to make it clear that I don't have any ill will against the Zcash Foundation or the Electric Coin Company or anybody who's like whatever, counsel for them or anybody who is a hodler or whatever. I just personally, I think moving to proof of stake is a really bad idea. I really feel like proof of work was one of the last very good things that Zcash had going for it. And straight up, just the honest truth, the fact that Ethereum supports ZK snarks kind of makes Zcash irrelevant. There, I said it. I said it out loud. Ethereum can already do everything that Zcash does. Not that you have, because you don't need shielded addresses to use ZK snarks to hide balances in Ethereum. You can just use a mixer like Tornado Cash or any EVM compatible chain. Let me say that even more broadly. It's not even just Ethereum. It's Ethereum Classic. It's Binance Smart Chain. It's Polygon, Matic. They're all superior to Zcash. Full stop. Because they all do what Zcash does with ZK snarks and more. They also do DeFi. Just straight up. Zcash is, I don't think, ever going to be used as like any kind of a digital cash replacement. I've never been asked by anyone to support it other than the Zcash team themselves. And yeah, so straight up. Don't have anything against people who work on it. Like, you do you, keep making it the best coin you possibly can. But for my part, it 100% lost my interest with the move to proof of stake. And that's why. Guys, I can't be any more clear about it. The privacy technology that it uses, it's available in other places. And available in other places that also support DeFi. Like, I don't need it. Put it that way. And if I had a mining rig, if I had like an Equihash miner that could mine that algorithm, I'd be mining Pirate Chain with it. Straight up. Because it's private by default all the time. It at least does that all the time. Zcash does not even do that all the time. The rest of the time, it just behaves like a less adopted Bitcoin. So if I want to do that all the time, I'll just mine Bitcoin. That's my take on it, guys. I know. Somebody says, oh, shots fired. Oh, you hate Zcash. You're a hater. Nope. I can distinguish because I'm a human. I'm not a hater. I'm a human. I can see like, oh, is that a moldy peach or is that a juicy one? I want the juicy peach all day, baby. Give me the moldy one. All right. Bottom of the list, we are in the red for Litecoin, Dogecoin, Horizon, and Bytecoin. Dogecoin's price, 32 cents. Oh, and you love to see it. It is actually far below the mark of Wownero for coin price, which is also a meme coin. Haha. So there, Doge. Wownero is not only a better privacy coin, it's also a better meme coin. Ooh, yeah, I said that too. Hot takes all day from Seth. FPGA portfolio, guys. On the FPGA side, our total P&L, we're down by 14%, guys. We're down bad, but last 24 hours, we're up. All right, okay, because of the total market recovery and the apparently some correlation to the Bitcoin markets. Cadena is still our number one, and it's the only one that's in the black, doing really, really strong. But that's because of the 7-day recovery, that upward trend. Again, it looks totally decorrelated from Bitcoin, doesn't it? That trend line, that's crazy. Digibyte as well, far more correlated to Bitcoin. It's kind of, it's the old guard. We know it, we love it, or you don't know it and you're like, yeah, what's a Digibyte? Digibyte is just doing its thing though. It's like Digibyte doing Digibyte things. All right. And following the price trend of Bitcoin, which doesn't quite put it back above our $1,000 mark. Telor is also above 800, but Handshake, Mimic, and 0x Bitcoin are all kind of suffering. 0x Bitcoin is doing that same thing that it did last time we talked, right? That downward sort of like drop, or that downward translation, I think is the right way of putting it. It wasn't really a dump or a drop, right? You see, it was crawling sideways, translated downward, and kept crawling sideways. See that? Boom. Same volatility. Boom, same volatility. It's like it's like a kid that's like whatever, trying to learn how to ride a skateboard, and they go to the edge of like a bench or something, and instead of ollieing off, they just like ride off like really slow, and they go like, and they keep riding really slow, like and they like don't bend their knees, like take all the impact like in their whatever in their lower back. I did it. I did a jump. Did you see it? Did you get the camera? Yeah, kid, we saw it. It was really, really awkward. Stop asking. So here, that's what 0x Bitcoin is doing, right? It's like, get the camera out. I'm going to do an ollie. I don't know what it's doing, but it's entertaining as all get out, right? We've been watching it for weeks now and saying like that volatility looks programmed. It's just funny. Anyway, that's our FPGA mining portfolio right now. Let's take a look at proof of stake smart contracts. I've got a few that are already preloaded, guys. I apologize. I didn't get them all done before today's live stream because I'm a little jammed up. Got some things that I need to do with family today, but I will be able to get this completed in the near future. So Solana is destroying. We put in $1,000 of Solana back in May 26th, and the same as every other coin, guys. Every other coin in this portfolio, we did the exact same thing. $1,000 at 5:30 p.m.-ish on May 26th of this year. None of these coins has gotten any kind of an unfair advantage. I put in the exact same dollar amount for a paper trade in the exact same time. So these are all on even footing. Solana is killing it, though, up over 100%. It's just been destroying it. But up over 100% in total. Looks like total P&L for the coins that we actually have some trades in. It's up by 43%. It's the strongest performing portfolio. But that said, I've only got Ethereum through Solana here. So Polkadot, Binance Coin, which we're going to use as a representation of Binance Smart Chain because that is the native coin. That's the only reason we're doing that. I don't have Polygon in yet, Matic. I don't have Terra in yet. I don't have ICP, Tron, any of the others that you see here. They're not in yet. And I apologize for that, guys. We're not quite up to speed just yet. But let's take a look at Solana real fast. Right? Like, oh, no, I was entering some numbers from Solana. But looking at Solana's trend, right, look at the last 24 hours. Last 24 hours were not really the most interesting thing. Last 7 days, though, boom. Just up and to the right, Price of $43, touched almost 80 and has stayed moving sideways between 70 and 80 since then over the last 7 days. Real News 2020 is saying wax. What is wax? Well, if you guys aren't familiar with wax, it's the the asset exchange, wrapped asset exchange. It's an NFT platform basically. So yeah, Ace at Cisco. He gets it. Says Wax is a cool NFT platform. A lot of huge players have released content on Wax. MLB, Topps. Yep, totally. So Garbage Pail Kids are available there. I mean, if you know those old trading cards, they're available as NFTs now on Wax. Ken Bosak, shout out to the bro. He publishes on Wax on a regular basis. Crypto Stash, Shay Newkirk. He publishes on Wax. I'm not sure if I want to publish on Wax personally. I think like Ethereum is something that I know and I'm a little more familiar with and I'm a little more comfortable with. And the marketplace for me the financials make more sense. Guys, hear me out. Wax is great because the fees are really low and it lowers the barrier to entry. But I don't think there's many like old bags, as many whales in the Wax space as there are in Ethereum. There are people who are still ICO bag holders in Ethereum who have thousands of Ether, and they're like avid NFT collectors. They're avid art collectors. This is the new DeFi summer, right? They're going full degen, aping into new projects. CryptoPunks, for example. I mean, dang. CryptoPunks, I ran the numbers with my wife last night. They have generated in total, I think in trades, they've generated in total over something like $200 million worth of trades when you run the numbers. And with the royalties that the team has gotten, guys, they're into 8 figures of profit just on royalties alone, not the initial trades. Now, I realize that's CryptoPunks. That's like saying like, oh, well, all you have to do is be Michael Jackson and like, you're going to do great. Like, there's never going to be a Michael Jackson again. I get that. And there's never going to be a CryptoPunks again. I get that too. But the point is that there are people who spend like 5 whole Ether on an NFT. I don't know if people are spending 15 grand on NFTs on Wax. I'm not sure. Like Atomic Hub is being mentioned here. It is a good exchange for Wax NFTs. I'm not sure if the price floor is the same on Wax as it is on Ethereum. So that's like, for me, kind of why I'm more interested in Ethereum. Plus, there's far more functionality built into Ethereum natively with the smart contracts. It's not just ERC 721. It's also ERC 998. It's also ERC 1155. If you don't know these, there's a lot, guys. There are a lot of ERC standards for NFTs that allow you to not only have an NFT in ERC 721, but also have an associated ERC 20 and have them preloaded into an NFT. And then others that are dynamic that allow you to use that NFT almost like a dynamic wallet with shifting balances inside of it. It is so much deeper than some of the other ecosystem, guys. Just saying. And any other EVM compatible system will inherit all of that work that was done by the Ethereum team. It's kind of unreal. Oh, hey, Ace and Cisco is saying 40K for a Mike Trout NFT on Wax. That's cool. Hey, thank you. I really appreciate that. See, guys, I know, like, I haven't wanted to talk about it too much without doing another live stream with Ken or with Stash, because they're great. They're really great at this stuff. They're doing a pretty regular live stream. If you're not taking a look at their live streams on NFTs, I think you should. But I've really wanted to do like a deep dive with them, like a little bit of hand holding. Like I've talked to Ken about mining. He wasn't really into it, but bro, NFTs, he's done really well with NFTs. He's done fine. I'm sure he's not sad that he didn't mine. He's doing okay with NFTs. But I'd love to learn from the best, right? I'd love to learn from people who are actually doing it. So, all right. So that's Wax is there though, guys. And yes, Ace at Cisco, to your point, that's the reason Wax is there. It's a proof of stake smart contract system, and it is good, right? It is good. And I don't fully understand all of its capabilities, but I did want to put it there because I think it'd be irresponsible not to look at some of the options here. So that's why we have all the rest as well. Tron, I mean, EOS, people maybe aren't super excited about them, but they should go on the list. They do belong in this category. All right, guys, that's what we've got for this side of the portfolio right now. I'm not going to put in any more balances live. I don't want to bore you to tears. We are going to take a look at Bitcoin's price right now on the chart. And let's see. Oh, our chopsticks way fell past the mark. That recovery, we see it in the 50-day line right there. The 200-day is still generally up and to the right. I thought it was going to level off, maybe, but we absolutely hit that 200-day average. And look, bounced right off it. Crazy, right? Crazy talk. Who does that? Bitcoin does that. Oh yeah. Is it? Oh yeah, you going to jail. That maybe didn't fit totally, but you know what? I'll take it. So that's Bitcoin for you though, in a nutshell. Like Honey Badger. Just takes what he wants. All right, so yeah, Bitcoin bouncing off the 200-day average, smashing back through the 50-day average, and then struggling to break through 50K, right? Just the tip, right? Just the wick. Can we get past just the wick here, Bitcoin? Can you do something interesting for once in your life? Okay, it's not, that's hyperbole. Obviously, there's never a dull moment with Bitcoin. But we look at this chart, guys. If you're wondering, like, okay, we talked about all these other projects. Why do we always end on Bitcoin? Guys, I don't want to get like, I don't want to sound quasi-religious or anything, but Bitcoin kind of is the alpha and omega of cryptocurrencies. Oh gosh, no, that did sound very sacrilegious. I'm so sorry. Like, seriously, I almost like dry heaved a little bit as I said it. But the point is that Bitcoin is like the dominant coin in cryptocurrency. And sure, the total market cap of Ethereum does stand a shot of flipping Bitcoin. But that doesn't change the fact that Bitcoin is still considered largely as the hard currency, like the hard money alternative in cryptocurrency space. That's why El Salvador is looking at adopting, or has adopted it, and it's going into law next month. That's why other countries are looking at it. That's why certain states allow for paying taxes in Bitcoin. In Ohio, you can pay your taxes in Bitcoin today. In Wyoming, right, you can open up a Bitcoin bank. Oh, hey, we got a super chat coming in from Mitchell. Hey, thanks for that. And just asks, says, only just tuned in. Do you think this confirmed to be a bull market now? I think it probably did. I think bouncing off that 200-day moving average twice, the way it did, I think that probably puts us back in bull territory. But guys, here's the thing. Bitcoin does not like to obey the rules of other markets. It doesn't even like to repeat its history perfectly. It does occasionally do other things. And now we've got institutional players that when they see stuff like this, you know, they're giddy, right? They're happy as clams. They can trade this chop. When we can't, they can trade this chop. And they can go and get like basically free leverage, and they can get 0% loans, and they can do levered trading against this chop. So there are all kinds of institutional players that were making bank here, while several of us were hodling and saying like, oh my gosh, it's going to go back up. I'm pretty sure it's going to go back up. But there were other players who were like, nah, man, I'm levered the F up and I'm making bank, making money here. Not some of these smaller moves, but bigger moves. They were like, all right, boop, 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 boop. Making money up, making money down, making money up, making money down. Making money today? Yup. Making money today? Yup. Making money tomorrow? Yup. Like, we don't quite operate that way, right? We, again, fear and greed. We're like, oh, is it time to be greedy or is it time to be fearful? What do we do today? Well, what is everybody else saying on Reddit? What is everybody else saying on Twitter? I mean, these guys are built different. We don't operate like how they operate. We should, right? We should know better now. But they can do things. And I strongly believe we kept getting rejected here at 40K because of price suppression by those institutions who were like, yeah, no, I want to buy more down here cheap. Okay, boom. This is for my institution. We're going to buy down here. And again, levered trading and options trading, like making money, buying Bitcoin. Making money, buying Bitcoin. Buying Bitcoin, making money. All the time. And some of these people have been putting more on their into their portfolio. Now, could just be like larger whales, but also institutions, I believe, have been doing that. Michael Saylor, of course, bought way up here. He absolutely is dying for an opportunity to see it go back above this red channel. And so, yeah. But like Mitchell is asking, just tuned in, do you think this is confirmed to be a bull market now? I think so. Yeah. I'm gonna say it's back, a la John Wick. I think this channel here, this yellow channel, kind of like inverse, right? This is where we could absolutely afford to be, like, we could afford to be bullish. And once we get back up into this red channel, I'm going to be very cautious. But yes, the trend is very clearly up and to the right for the 200-day. And without offering advice or anything, I'm just saying, like, it's very painfully obvious that we had this downward, triangle, and it just said nope, right? We put that second chopstick right there and just boop, popped right back up on the 200 moving on 200-day. We can redraw these guys, but yeah, I don't think we have enough info here to know for sure. We did see in the MACD, we did see it flip bullish. So, but we're already seeing that kind of like cool down a little bit. So I don't know. Do we see Bitcoin performing above 50K? Guys, I'm never comfortable saying stuff like that, but I am comfortable throwing the chopsticks back onto the current line for now. I think we're in an upward channel, but we could absolutely get rejected at 50K. It's possible we just don't see anything beyond 50K for this weekend or even into next week. And maybe it takes seeing Bitcoin fully accepted as legal tender in El Salvador to see a massive change. Yeah, do I often do like legit like price predictions on this channel? No, not really. Not really. You guys know. There we go. And we definitely are like crawling sideways now. This isn't even appropriate. See right there, just looking at our tops right here. This doesn't line up at all, our tops with our bottoms. It looks like we are just going to range sideways a little bit. So yeah, let's see. I mean, I guess pray for rain. We'll see. We'll see if we break 50K this weekend. It'd be super cool if we did. I would love to come back to you guys and see that we have broken 50K and we've been able to sustain it. But right now, I'm looking at the 200-day average, and it looks like we bounced off it twice, right? So first here at 37-ish, like we didn't quite touch it, but we bounced off of it, and now we bounced off it again. So it is pushing upward, and yeah, it'd be really cool to see it bounce off the 200-day again. But if we see it level off, if we see it rejected at 50K too many more times, well then that 200-day moving average may only put us at about 10K above the last time it was rejected, or last time it was bounced off of the 200-day for support. So yeah, like without saying anything confidently, guys, these are just patterns that I think I'm seeing, right? I'm not using any kind of like really in-depth like TA, just to be very clear, and very, very clear. Anybody who knows, right, who's been watching, they know, right? I don't pretend to be a technician, and I don't offer technical analysis at all on this channel. I do offer consulting and executive coaching but for other stuff, right? Not for coin price, not for investing. So anyway, yeah, guys, this is our chart. I'm going to leave this channel right here. I might actually draw. I don't want to draw more lines, guys, but it kind of feels appropriate, doesn't it? Doesn't it feel appropriate to draw some other lines? It kind of does, doesn't it? All right, draw another line, because I think, no, I don't really need to. We got the channels. Guys, I think that right now in this channel, if we keep performing in this channel, then we kind of know that the 200-day moving average is going to level off. And we know that if, yeah, it's going to level off just a little bit. And we know that if it breaks up above 50K over this weekend, the 200-day moving average is going to keep going up. And it looks like right now, based on the last little while, right, again, let's just say, here we go, 5th of August. So for the last 2 weeks, roughly, last 2 weeks, we've been bouncing off of 200-day support. We could even say that it bounced off here in 23rd of July. So really, the better part of a month, right? So the better part of a month where we've been bouncing off the 200-day. That's our third bounce, though. Yeah, guys, that looks bullish to me. It looks like we're absolutely in a bull market for the last month. Like, it really, this other stuff, I mean, in retrospect, it seems more clear that we're in a bull market. It didn't seem so clear a couple weeks ago when we bounced off the 200-day moving average again, right? Like, it didn't look like that. It just looked like, okay, we've been in this range before, right? We saw here we were rejected at 40K before. That could happen again. We didn't know. Hey, Benjamin is throwing out some alpha here, saying, okay, 420 Ichi Moonku. Yeah. Guys, yeah, I don't even know how to use, like, properly use the what is it, the Ichi cloud or whatever. So I got it now, though. Yeah. Okay, these are beginning trader jokes. Sorry, guys, they look a lot like dad jokes because they're pretty much the same thing. I really appreciate you being here. Hold on, get my game face on. Thank you for watching to the end of the video. This has been a fun live stream. I really need to run today, so I'm going to cut it short at this point. Thanks for hitting that thumbs up. Thanks for sharing the video. It really helps, guys. All the engagement, all the questions, the responses, all of it really helps. It really does. Thank you for being subscribed. If you're lurking, guys, it's free. Why wouldn't you do it? Thanks for checking out mineyourbiz and the products and services that we offer there. Really, anything you do to support this channel helps us make this content more frequently and more in depth. Thank you for your support. Definitely love sharing this with you guys. Hey, and thank you for that super chat pocket change, or that super congrats, super emoji, the thing. Thank you. Appreciate that. Guys, I love your face. Remember to stay private and mind your biz. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of the video. If you want to be notified of videos like this in the future, first off, click subscribe, press the bell icon. Additionally, you can sign up for the Mind Your Biz email newsletter. That'll give you exclusive access to certain freebies, notifications for deals within the cryptocurrency mining space, as well as some of our flash sales for merchandise, which you can buy with cryptocurrency. That's right. It's the only cryptocurrency merch that you can buy with cryptocurrency. we practice what we preach. As always, thank you so much for watching. You're the reason I make this media. I love your face, and I will see you in the next one.